Hi, this is Leslie Robbins with the Readiness Team, and I am here with Prashanth, and he is going to walk us through some knowledge management updates that are going live in GA for April. One being the pop-up article, which now allows you to have a full view, and the other is article rendering with some usability improvements to CSH. Prashanth?
Hey, thanks, Leslie. So, I'm Prashanth Venkatramu, PM lead for knowledge management, and to be honest, most of the work that I'm going to showcase here was done by Tina Ding, and I'm just sort of substituting for her temporarily. But so let me just get into the actual features themselves. So the first one is these knowledge search results layout improvement. So what this is basically, if I go into Customer Service Hub and click on the cases link and open up a case, so you will see that within the context of this case, we actually show you the knowledge results that can help resolve this particular case. And so what we did is we sort of cleaned up the layout of the results themselves. So in the previous release, what the way we displayed this is that the commands which you see on top for the knowledge article, so they were sort of in the same place as the metadata for the knowledge articles, like the number of views or the rating of the article and the modified date of the article. So everything was in the same place, and so it was sort of a cluttered look, and it was making the readability of the results a little bit challenging. So what we did is we sort of cleaned it up so that the title and the summary are clearly visible now, and the commands that you can perform on the article are available on the top right with the overflow option, and the metadata for the article is at the bottom right. And this sort of makes it consistent with how we display similar information on the timeline as well. So in the timeline, you'll see that the commands appear on the top right and the metadata is at the bottom. So that's really the change that we've made in terms of readability or usability for the knowledge results. The second enhancement in the consumption area is the we had feedback from customers that when you link a knowledge article to a case, previously we just used to change the icon. So you see this X mark. So that basically was an indication that the knowledge article is linked to the case. And we had feedback, and rightfully so, that it was very difficult for agents to see that the article was linked. So now we explicitly call out when the article is linked to the case with this status message right at the bottom left. And again, this is consistent with the way we show status messages on the timeline as well. Like you'll see that this is an active activity on the timeline, and similarly we show clear closed activities at the bottom left here. So we followed the same pattern just from a consistency standpoint. So I'm just going to go ahead and unlink this. The third feature enhancement in this area is the way we can now pop out knowledge articles. So the if you don't use that feature, the KB articles actually show up within the reference panel as a tab, and then you have to scroll through to read the full article. And so we had feedback from customers so that they wanted an option to pop out the article, and so that they can basically have the full real estate of the page to read the article, and they don't need to scroll the article. So that's the pop out feature that we have now shipped with this release for agents to quickly read through the article and decide if it helps them or not. So those are the features on the contextual knowledge search or the embedded knowledge search experience. So the next big one that I wanted to talk about is the standalone knowledge search. So you'll see that we've introduced this link on the sitemap called the knowledge search. And when I click on that, it basically opens up a search window for knowledge, which is outside the context of the record you're working. So if you don't need knowledge results within the context of a case and you just want to search through the knowledge base, then you can use this option now. And so I'm just going to search for printer issue, and it shows me all the matching results, and I can just click through these easily to figure out the one that best meets my needs. And it has the relevant commands as well here, like pop out or copy right here. And it's just a lot more easier, a lot more real estate as well to read the article results. And so we hope that this feature will make knowledge a lot more easier to access, whether you're working on a case or outside of the case. So those are the big changes on the uh, consumption side. So we talked about the search results, layout improvement, seeing knowledge articles in the full screen, that is the pop-out experience. And we also talked about the standalone knowledge search experience. So now let me move on to the last part, which is the enhancements on the authoring side of knowledge. So we made a few changes on to improve how author can actually go and create knowledge articles, making their lives a lot more easier. So let me just quickly show them to you in the application. So I'm just clicking on the knowledge article link here to go to the authoring experience. So here's an existing KB article. So what we've done is the toolbar here on the top, there are basically the rich text editing toolbar. So now we've sort of made it OA-like, right? So Outlook Web Access. So it sort of looks and feels very similar to that, a lot more modern and easy to use compared to the previous toolbar we had. And other than the look and feel, the skin of the toolbar itself, it's also additional capabilities we've added as part of the rich text editing experience. So the very first one is the copy formatting, right? So which all of us are familiar because of if you've used Word or other editing tools like that, right? So for example, let's say it looks like this formatting here is out of place. You'll see that this is bold and the rest of the text is not. So you can just go and use copy formatting and just sorry, uh, you can just go and copy the formatting here, and it should just go ahead and change. So that is a new command we are now supporting. The other change which you've heard a lot from customers as well is the number of fonts we support while authoring a knowledge article. So previously it was less than 10, and now we've gone ahead and expanded it to almost 40 plus fonts that are available out of the box when you create knowledge articles. Um, Another small feature that we've added is the ability to automatically create hyperlinks. So let's say uh, this, and I type on that. Oh, it looks like there's some issue here, but okay, I think I got it. So it'll automatically recognize this as a hyperlink, and you don't need to do that manually. So this is another small feature enhancement we've done in the authoring experience. The other enhancement is really the block quote. So if you want to, let's say, make this part of the text as a block quote, you just click on this and you'll see that the formatting immediately changes, and it sort of goes indented inside, and then it sort of stands out. So if you have a knowledge article where you need to quote, bring in the block quote formatting, you can now do that. And the last thing really I wanted to talk about is the table experience. So previously it was a very clunky experience that we had, and now we've sort of again made it similar to the other Microsoft tools like say Word or Excel. So what it does is so you can quickly create a table using the quick table control here. So let's say I want to create a table here. Just go and do this, and uh, you previously, even the when you do a right click or something, the commands were not contextual. So it used to show the browser right click. So now you can just do the right click and you can insert rows or columns right within this context, as well as cell level commands. So you can go and click on cell properties and adjust the height and width and set background colors. If you want to say delete rows, you can do that. You can also use it to create columns, and even your you can use your keyboard to delete rows. So it's very made it similar to what the experience you have with say using Microsoft Word or other tools like that. So just more intuitive and makes life a lot more easier for knowledge authors. So at a high level, I think these are the key features that we've introduced on the authoring side. And so I think that's about it from my side, Leslie.
Thanks, Prashant. And if you have any comments or feedback to provide, we'd love to hear. If there's any areas where we could provide a deeper detail or address any questions for you. And we'll come back here again soon as we go into our next release. Thank you, Prashant.
Thanks, Leslie.